Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Elemental Origins. My name is Starr. I've got I don't really know what to call today. It's supposed to be messages from the stars, but I'm being called to share that this is just going to be a sharing space. This is going to be a space of information, much more about me and my journey and what I feel about the connection with galactics and spirit and everything else like that. So if that's not something that you're wanting to connect in with today, then perhaps don't take this on today. But this is going to be a much more relaxed setting. I'm only going to be pulling Oracle today, and I have quite a few decks lined up by the side of me. But the messages that I've been getting before even sitting down to start this reading was that there is so much out there to be experienced, and I think a lot of people at first value, they hear the words like starseed or aliens, and we have this stereotypical image of a green blob with some large eyes come to mind, or whatever else the media is thrown down our throats, when actually if you think about it from a much wider perspective, if you think about us being here, what is even being human? We are on this earth that is in a universe, and what does that mean to you? How does that resonate for you when you actually sit and think about what you are as an entity, as a being? Like, what does being human to you mean? And I think once we start to break down those barriers of those stereotypes, then we can really start to uncover the truths within us, within our souls, within our understanding of selves, and where we might find ourselves right now, and why we might be here, why we might have shown up to this reading. I feel like I'm going to have a lot of new people showing up to this space and not really understanding why they are here, or even what I'm doing, and I've realized that a lot of people have had to get to know me again. They've had to re-know me, relearn me, and that's been a journey in itself. So for those that are on a journey of spirituality, those that feel like they may be a starseed, it's like, remember that we go through cycles, we go through changes, we go through dynamics of self that sometimes people aren't ready for. Sometimes we have to walk away from certain situations to allow ourselves to grow to the fullest capacity of self. And that's a confirmation for someone that you did the right thing by letting something just be. It was always supposed to be that way, and it's like everything is in divine order as it is. So I don't know who needed to hear that message, but that's your confirmation for today. But I've got lots of things in this space today. I've got 2 candles that I haven't lit because it is very, very warm in the Northern Hemisphere right now. I'm in the UK. But I do have a pink candle. I have a red candle that I use for my Mary Magdalene ceremony with some blue lotus flowers in. I've also got my black tourmaline dagger, and yeah, that's going to be something a little bit later. I feel like that's going to come up in the reading. But I also have this piece of amethyst, and now this is not my most gorgeous piece of amethyst, and there was a reason for that. I was hearing, not everything that glitters is gold, and sometimes it's the diamonds in the rough that you need to pay attention to. And I brought selenite in as well, which is amazing for cleansing all energy. And the last one, which is labradorite, and I always see this as the Jack and the Beanstalk bean, and yeah, just because it's got that vein down the center, it always makes me think of Jack and the Beanstalk. But labradorite is amazing for tapping into magical energies, and I hope that we bring through some of that today. Oh, and also in Lemurian quartz. Yeah, it was like it was hidden in all the shells. That's what I mean, the diamond in the rough, something that's hidden from some of you right now. It's like something's hidden, but it's actually a gem. That's confirmation for someone. But there were so many things coming in before sitting down with this, and I think because it is an open reading, it's like everyone is coming in. So we have galactics, we have elementals, we have angels coming in. I can feel the energy. I have dragons, and it feels like some of you are very, very, very connected to these realms, but you are terrified of what that means. You are wondering what that's going to mean for your life. And I wish to share that my life up until probably, I like to say 3 years ago, when I started to fully sink into all of this energy. But my life was seemingly so normal, and I wasn't aware of these realms to the capacity that I am now by any stretch of the imagination. And that feels like a very sweeping statement, because I've always been very connected into something. I didn't know what. I went to Catholic school half of the side of my family is very heavily Christian, so I always felt the energy of something and light, and I was very grateful to be in the family that I'm in, because they've always experienced things that are completely out of the ordinary, and that's just always been in my life. So I think there was a lot of things that I took to be normal, which weren't actually normal. And I think many of you find yourselves here. And I was a very sensitive soul, very sensitive person, but I wasn't aware of that. So I realized that I did a lot of things that were quite damaging to myself and my body. And it was like I would act out quite a lot, and I didn't understand why. Looking back now, I couldn't understand why I was doing all of these things when I actually knew that I was quite a sensitive and empathic person. But it was a mechanism for protection. It was like I put all my defenses up, I put all my walls up, and I would just kind of bulldoze my way through things so that people couldn't get too close, because I felt things so deeply. It didn't feel safe to let anyone get close to me. And I think that's going to resonate for some of you too. So if you find yourself in those situations, just allow yourself time to be by yourself and really figure out why you might be behaving in such ways, why you might be acting out in certain circumstances, or behaving in ways that you know isn't intrinsically natural to you. It's like you can feel your baseline, your base essence, but for some reason you don't want to tap into that energy. So just take the time to sit with that and why that might be, because you will be given the answers. It's like everyone that is here, you're very tapped into something and you're wanting to know more. So don't turn back now. And I'm going to try and be as gentle as possible today with all of this, but I'm feeling a lot of energy and like a lot of messages just want to come through as support, and I will support in whatever way that I can and share as much as I can of myself and my journey, so that some of you might be able to see what resonates for you. But I'm going to start pulling some cards, because I feel like I could just sit and talk and bring messages through, which is fun, but I feel like a little bit of structure is needed. We've got the Mountain. I pre-shuffled these cards already, but I'm just going to do a little shuffle whilst I bring few more through. I praise the gods and the goddess and the god. I give blessings. Interesting. I'm going to just pull a few and then see what wants to come through. Rapture, sensuality, love, devotion, romance, ecstasy, and pleasure. I'm going to pull one more from the Rose Oracle. Yeah, it was in reverse. The bloom, creation, realize, right time, harvest, and celebrate. Okay. I'm going to leave it there for now and see what messages want to come through. I feel like there's a hesitancy to go within at this time. For many of you that find yourselves here, I feel like this idea of, I see this card as like my shadow work card, so working on those aspects that we might feel a little bit shameful of, a little bit embarrassed about, or situations from the past. It's like we feel embarrassed for our behavior, and teams are wanting to come in and say that we have to face those things in order to grow, in order to be able to in order to be able to receive all your blessings. You have to face your shadow. And you know, the spiritual journey, a path of seeking more understanding of self, is like climbing a mountain. It's like you get so far and you just feel really tired, and maybe some of you are in that stage right now. You feel tired, you feel like you want to give up, and your teams, your galactic teams, I'm feeling specifically Pleiadian, Orion, and Sirius energy. So if you resonate as being any of those starseeds, or feel like you might, that's just your confirmation for you. But it's like this idea of getting out of the fire. There was a lot of fire energy before I set up for this, and I was hearing Anima Mundi, which is like the soul of the world, and that resonates as being like a fire element in itself. And I fed my skinny pig some cucumber before sitting down, and I looked up the spiritual meaning of cucumber, and that was the idea of resurrection and I'm hearing reciprocity. So there's something in some of yours lives right now where you just need to put out the fire. It's like you just have to put out the fire and just be ready to receive. And I feel like that's a coded message for someone. It's like that's going to make a lot of sense to you. If it doesn't, with the water here on the rapture, it's like allowing yourself to be in flow, allowing yourself to be in bodies of water right now will really heal your soul. I'm hearing for a lot of you. I think that some of you really run on your fire energy quite a lot, and there is times for this, but if we are in the northern hemisphere like I am, we need to be making sure we are putting out all of this heat and all of this fire so that we can feel in balance at this time. And I feel like some of you, it's like you're afraid to step out of your comfort zone. That's what it is. The Galactics are saying don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, because actually you haven't even found the real you yet, the true you yet. And this goes back to the idea of hydromancy and illusion, all the water energy here. I'm going to have to do a little reshuffle. Being a new you, it's like I've grown a new skin. I'm not what I used to be. Ornithomancy and omen. Still the water there, the ocean, out the window. That's crazy. I love when these things happen. I've changed so much, and I feel like I continually grow. I can continually expand, and I feel different every day. And I think this is something that is a lot to take in when you're on this path. And for those that might be dipping their toe in, and for those specifically that might have seen my journey, it's like you're not going to have the same journey as me. And I feel like I've had quite an extreme introduction to all of this. It was quite violent. My awakening was quite violent. My connection with the galactic realms came through such a very very personal and traumatic experience. It wasn't what I was prepared for. It felt like I was very unprepared to be in so deep so quickly with everything, is what I want to say. So maybe some of you find yourselves here, or that's maybe something that some of you are afraid of. And I wouldn't change anything about my story for the world now. And in the times when it had been so painful and I couldn't see a way out or a way around some things, and I just kept feeling like I was coming up to roadblocks to where I felt like I couldn't breathe. I honestly felt like I couldn't breathe, and I had nowhere to turn. It's like tides change, things change, people come in to help you, and there is always a way out. I'm hearing it's like there's always a way out. And some of you might be like, I'm seeing someone literally stood in the corner of a room. It's like you feel like you have nowhere to go, and you're afraid to look behind you because you're afraid of what's going to show itself to you. And don't be afraid is what I want to say. And anything that is given to you, it's like you can handle it, and that is why. And this is something that I've had to just grin and bear on this journey. It's like you can handle it, which is why we give it to you. And there's times when I cry about that, where I get frustrated with that, where I wish I could turn back at some points. That's how I felt, but there was no turning back. Like once you tap into your soul's essence, you don't want to go back. I'm so grateful that I know the things that I do, that I understand myself a lot deeper, and I feel the happiest that I've ever felt in my life. And I would never have guessed that I would be doing anything like this at some points in my journey. Yet at the same time, this makes complete sense to me and to a lot of people around me. They have seen me suffer, I think, is the main thing, and they can see that I'm the happiest that I've ever been, and that's all that they care about. So maybe some of you are there too. It's like people see you suffering and they know that you need to make a change, but you refuse to. Just try and sit with why you don't want to allow yourself to be happy and what that means for you. It feels like you have such support in yourself, like that you are a stable person within yourself. So allow yourself to be held out of the illusion. It's like some of you really see through the matrix of life, but this idea of spirituality or other seems too fanciful. And to that I want to say again, what do you consider to be human? What does that mean to you? What does earth mean to you? Why do you think you are here? And at least what I believe is that we are all made of the stars, and I can't stress to you enough just how much my life was so 3D, and I was not in these realms whatsoever. But as soon as, actually it was a little bit later, because I resonate as being a Pleiadian starseed, and when the energy first started coming into me, it felt very cold and hostile and sterile. I spent a lot of time tapping into spirit energy. That's where I started my journey, tapping into tarot, tapping into mediumship skills. And then in March, I always forget whether it was May or March, but I think it was in March, I was greeted by a moth outside when I was doing my workout, and this moth wouldn't leave me. And then later on that day, I had a different type of entity come through to speak to me, and I was feeling a lot of crushing energy around me from 2 weeks before that, and I felt like something was trying to come through me when I was doing my readings, and I didn't know what it was, and it was this Pleiadian energy coming through, which I resonate as being, but it felt so foreign to me just because my body was so dense. It was like this high frequency was hitting a brick wall, so it came through as being really strong, really sterile, really cold, when actually the energy is so loving and consistent and nurturing. But it took me a little while to feel into that, and for me to raise my frequency enough so now that it enters my body seamlessly with theirs. I have a very close connection with a lot of galactics, and I'm so grateful for that. And I think that it's difficult to wrap your head around when this hasn't been your world at all, and I was very much there. I didn't understand what was happening to me. I just didn't know. I felt like I was being ill. I thought that I was coming down with some sort of illness at the beginning, and I was very confused. And then my consciousness just started to collapse, and yeah, I felt like I'd lost my mind, because all of this isn't what we are taught. It's not what we are told it is true. And it took me a while to get used to my new life. And I think this is something that is missed on these journeys, is that it's easy to be in la la land, or to believe in these fanciful things, when actually it's the complete opposite, because this world does not allow for you to be playful, does not allow for you to be living in the spiritual. That isn't just the norm, I think. So actually it takes great courage to sit in your truth and to say you believe in the fanciful, or things that are magical, because it's like the energy is always here, and we have it when we are children. We have it, and it gets kicked out of us. We tell ourselves that we had imaginary friends, when I believe that those things are actually real. And we're tapping into energies because we are so pure of heart. There has been no programming, well, to some degree, when we are young. We're just much more of a clear vessel to be connecting with these higher energies, because we're pure, and the lack of karma that we've created is easier for us to filter that energy. And so if some of you were really playful as children, it's like, get back into that energy. Your guides, your teams, your galactic teams especially, are wanting you to come back into the energy. I'm seeing someone dive into a swimming pool. So some of you might have been divers, you might be you might just love swimming. It's like you have that playful energy within. Spells and alchemy. Yeah, using water as spell work right now is going to be very beneficial for a lot of you, and you can intention with your water, so making sure that we drinking enough water in the day, and placing hands on that cup or that bottle of water and saying, with every sip I am going to feel into my soul's energy more, or I am going to be healing from the inside out, or this is going to be my healing elixir. It's something you can do to be programming your water, whatever you want that to be, more monetary abundance, whatever that is. And I think some of you might be here on a very materialistic approach, and that is also okay. If you're looking to be in spell work and alchemy to gain things that you want to further in your life, that is absolutely fine, as long as you are doing it for the right reasons. If you are wanting to spread more love and joy for the things that you care about and your passions, that is okay, and that is also being an alchemist. Some of you might just be really talented at something, and that comes from your soul. That's what that is. Some of you are amazing musicians. You can just pick up in anything and play whatever. Some of you out there might be chefs, and you just know what to do with food and ingredients. It's like, not everyone does that, and that's what I'm talking about. This idea of the things that you think are just normal because it's just you. It's like, no, that is a gift. That is a gift from somewhere else. That is a gift from your ancestors. It's a gift from previous lifetimes. This is a gift from you being a star in this universe. It is so vast and just unimaginable. Like, there is so much out there that we just don't know about, and I'm really grateful to be tapping into that energy. We've got aura. I think many of you have been asking to see more, and this was something that I was getting stuck on my journey. It was like, okay, if these things are here and they are real, it's like we get very... It's like something in us is like, well, show me then. And that is not how it works. You have to trust and believe and feel it in your soul. For these entities to show themselves to you, it is so much about respect and honoring yourself and your vessel and your body. So if you are demanding things from spiritual entities of any kind, they are not going to show up for you, because you have to respect them. You don't have to necessarily believe in everything right now, but at least show respect to them. So if you are just demanding to be shown things because you're not sure where you are right now, it's like nothing is going to manifest for you, because you have to show respect. You have to show that you are willing to take on this path and this journey and to be a part of something that is innately love. It is about love, and I think that's also where some of you might be getting stuck. It's like you are coming at things with full force, this fire energy, when it's the complete opposite with all of this. And I really struggled with this because I was very much in my masculine energy for a very long time, and working hard gets results, and you can't take this approach with a spiritual quest, with a quest of the soul. You have to go slow, and you have to pick apart so many layers and go back and forth. You take 10 steps forward, 10 steps back. Some days you take 1 step forward, and the next week you've taken 10 steps forward, and you just can't predict what is going to happen. And I think there is a level of unpredictability that feels very unsafe and ungrounding on these journeys, when actually this is the safest you could be, learning to know yourself deeper at a soul's level. So just have that in mind, everyone. Wilderness and Untamed, angel number 43. I think some of you might be afraid to be tapping into your wild essence, dandelion, and healing, because you feel like this means that you aren't healing if you are just wanting to explore, when actually you should be exploring. I'm hearing that's confirmation. You should be exploring, you should be experiencing life, and it feels like something was keeping you very restricted for a very long time. Owl and intuition. It's like you knew that something felt like it was trapping you, and now you've set yourself free. Angel number 28. You might be 28. That's something that's coming through. You've been listening to Spirit for a very long time, whoever these messages relate to, specifically with these cards. It's like you've intuitively been listening to the signs from your spirit team and your galactic ancestors. You've been using your imagination to manifest your entire life. A lot of you here, many of you, aren't aware that you're master manifestors. It's like, just think about how many things you've wanted in your life, and you've made that happen. But it's like, some of you have achieved major things in your life, and you don't see them as major because it is your life, because it's you. But it's like, has everyone, got the business that you've got? Has everyone, it's like, got as loving of friendships as you've got? Has everyone got as happily family life as you've got? It's like you've manifested these things for yourself, and this can be small. This could be, having your perfectly behaved pet. It's like you manifested that for yourself. And also, if that's the other way around, if you have a pet that's particularly naughty, it's like you've manifested that there too, to be a teaching process for you as well as the pet. So take that into consideration too, some of you. That's massive confirmation with the wisdom. It's like sometimes our pets come as the greatest teachers to us, and that's not something that we often acknowledge. And our pets hold souls too, and some of those souls we have known in previous lives, and they're a lot closest to us than we think. Waterfall and persistence. More water energy coming through. For some of you, it's like, just keep going, whatever this means to you. I feel like there is a lot of people here that have no idea perhaps what I'm even talking about, but you find yourself here. You knew that you were supposed to come here. You knew that you were supposed to receive this reading. And the Rose Garden, innocence, forgiveness, be gentle with yourself. So much water energy. Please take some baths, everyone. And this can be cool baths. This can be bubble baths. This can be baths with other people, I'm hearing. Maybe some of you want to visit like a public baths, like in Budapest, I'm hearing. It's like there is something's calling to you right now. The sacred waters, nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, and self-care. Self-care is a must for everyone that is watching this. I forgot with the dolphin on here. The water energy is so strong, and I've been really tapping into whale and orca energy, specifically from the Arctic Circle, so that might be confirmation for someone. But this idea that the seas are ready to be opening up and helping us again, and I feel like everything is connected. The fact that the Little Mermaid has just come out in the cinema, it's like everyone knows this intuitively. The whole world is working together, and I see these cycles, and to me it's obvious, but I know that to others it's difficult to put the bits together. But I feel like there's a mass shift that happens constantly, and right now everything is so ET, UFO, OAP and water related, and that's exactly what is happening right now. It's like the seas are ready to communicate with us. ET realms have always been communicating with us, but now is the time for everyone to be experiencing this on a mass scale, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. The sun, that sun energy, joy, enjoyment, life force, success, vitality, and play. With the Anima Mundi energy there, with the vital life force of everything. The Rose of Venus is coming to mind, so you might want to look at your Venus placements for those that have been looking into astrology. I know that some of you have. I'm hearing that as a confirmation. Some of you, rainbows are a confirmation too. You've been asking for signs, and whenever you see a rainbow, this can be, anywhere. That's your confirmation from your galactic teams, specifically Lyran teams. I'm hearing with that. After the rain, silver lining, relief, hope, mercy, it's over, and acceptance. Some of you waiting to come out of a drought. It's like you've been waiting for the longest time to come out of the drought, and that time is now. Lineage of the Rose, moved by Goddess, here for this, soul calling, gathering. Some of you, with the dolphin, with the listening and the calling there, some of you are hearing this calling to step out of your comfort zone and to be more in your spiritual nature, and whatever that means to you, however you want to take that, however you want to receive that energy right now. It's like you might not even want to use the word spiritual, but just your innate essence. It's like that there's something within you that's calling you. Wow, lost learns, soul memories, gifts. You've done this before. Many of you are waking up to the fact that this is not your first time incarnating here. I think some of you have been activated through your dream time. You've been having pretty crazy dreams, and here in Mintaka also, so that might resonate for you. Some of you might want to look into Mintaka. You might have had a lifetime there, which is all about the ocean. The golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. Everyone here needs to work with their inner child, making sure that they have time for play. I'm hearing a lot of you are overworking right now, and you need to get out of that. You need to stop overworking and get into your play essence and having balance in your life. It's like some of you are putting it off, saying, later I'll have play, but you won't. It's like you will just continue to work. And some of you have created great accolades already. This is something that is coming through so strongly, to really take time to appreciate how much you've achieved and how amazing that is, but also knowing that that means nothing. We do not take anything with us. We've created this lifetime apart from what is in our soul. So what does that mean to you? And then the void coming out here. Stop, embrace winter, the great cosmic womb. It's like you need to really rethink your lives. Some of you here, it's like you are not connecting to your essence. It is you. You've been living very materialistically and wanting to achieve, and the galactics are saying that is completely okay, but is that truly how you want to live? Star keepers, cosmic ancestors, seed the light by staying grounded. You know that your grounding essence is within spirit. It's within life. It's within play. It's like some of you used to be so fun, I'm hearing. It's like you used to be so fun. What happened? And sometimes you might hear this from people. Weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. It's like you've let life take over. So much water energy here. People, please get into a body of water, free swimming, something. Cold shower, anything. It's like, having a cold shower. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But it's like you've lost your fun. It's like you've stopped being fun, some of you, and it's like you don't lose that. But if people are saying this to you, this is because they miss you. This is because they can see that you're not happy. And it's like, maybe you have everything. Maybe people see you as having everything you could possibly have dreamed of, but you're still not happy. And it's because you're not nourishing your soul. You're not nourishing your inner child. You're not nourishing that inner essence that is you. And I think these words are going to resonate with you. Maybe you don't connect with the word spirit or spirituality or galactics, angels, anything like that, but connect to the life that is in you. Remember how fun you used to be. Remember how much laughter used to ripple from your body. It's like you don't allow for yourself to be wild anymore when you need to. It's like you won't lose these things by having more fun, I'm hearing. You've got the love, Hadarian energy, codependency and boundaries. Maybe some of you have been working through codependent energies, and that's okay. I'm hearing you have to work hard on that, but now's the time for you to come out. And yeah, come out and play with this pink energy here, longing for home, hope and sickness for the stars. Some of you are starseeds, but you're ignoring the calling, and that brings you back to something that I didn't mention earlier. When I was, before doing this reading, I was in the shower and I started to sing, and I was guided to be looking at the loofah in my hand, which is a bright pink, like fuchsia pink loofah, and the bubbles on there were so rainbow, so rainbow colored, and I was just taken back to being a child and having that energy to play and thinking about mermaids. And then some light language started to come through me, and it was very much an opening of the vocal cords. It's like some of you really need to speak up. Some of you really need to use your voice right now to get yourself out of situations that are no longer serving you. And this might be some of you, putting the foot down with, I'm hearing like people that own business is coming through really strongly. So making sure that you're telling your staff what they need to do so that you can go and take a holiday, so that you can go and switch off and have that playtime. It's like some of you are desperate for that, and it's like all you have to do is put things in place in a stable structure so you feel safe, so everyone else knows their boundaries. And yeah, it's like setting strong boundaries is going to help everyone feel safe, supported and appreciated. It's like you have people around you that can help you, but you're not trusting in them enough, which makes them feel underappreciated, which then has a lasting effect on the whole dynamic, the whole structure. It's like if you put more trust in them, that's going to make them feel more appreciated, and like they make them feel that you can rely on them, which makes them feel good, which in turn makes them want to work harder for you. It's like the whole system is just out of balance right now. And if you set solid boundaries and, show ways of gratitude towards your staff, it's like that's what's going to help everything come into balance. Yeah, that's a really strong message there. It's like a lot of business owners, it's like you need to really start to praise your staff and show them that they are needed, they are necessary, that they are part of the family. It's like people want to feel part of something, and if you aren't loving, and it's like if you're not loving yourself, how can you expect anyone else to feel loved by you? And this might seem a stretch to say loving your work colleagues, but we spend so much time, at least those that do those long stints, at work in those settings. It's like you spend a lot of time at work rather than with your actual family and your friends especially. It's like that is your family, that is your work family. And I worked a lot in hospitality and public facing roles before all of this, and they were my family. I had some amazing times with loads of different groups of people in all walks of life, and they become your family, they become your structure and your stability. So maybe being a little bit more personable with your staff is going to help them feel like part of something, and that's going to make them want to work harder for you. And I think that's where the imbalance has been. It's like you have to put a little bit more love and acceptance into your space. It can't just be all business, no play, no life, no party, no family. It's like people want to feel part of something, so allow for that to be something. Make this be a family from here on in. I'm hearing that message is coming through so strongly. But I was hearing like a song come through in the shower, and this is going to be a confirmation for someone. And it was like okay, I'm just gonna do it. So
Narashiana Katineru Nano Shakra Setime Yuru Sanokuraya Neke Mine Tumaye Sanomakra Setinemu Zanomakra Setinemu Sanomakra Tenemine Sukraye Sanomakromata Sinemu Taye. That was coming through, everyone. It's like someone's going to recognize that song, and like that's the song of your soul, that's the song of your tribe, your team. It's like that's going to resonate through a lot of you, just that frequency. And this is something that I think is quite difficult to get your head around, is that we haven't just lived one life, and you know, there's going to be a lot of people here with a lot of different views, but just sit with what that means for a moment and think about, how is it possible that we are here? How is it possible to have the depth of knowledge and soul and love that you have for certain things in your life? It's like, where does that come from? That comes from something that is ever existent. It's like this life force, this energy that never dies. You know, there's scientific proof that when someone dies, like their body becomes a lesser matter. If you weigh the body after someone has died, something has left their essence just by them passing. Something left them, an essence left them, and that has a weight to it, like an actual weight to that essence. And think on that, think about that, and something that is, I think, essential to remember, that especially if you are wanting to connect into more galactic energy, it's like when people think of ETs, they think of, just a single being or something in a spaceship, when actually, if you think about, we're on a planet here and how much there is here on Earth, it's like those things exist on other planets. Like they have whole ecosystems, they have plant life, they have animals, they have, you know, cities like ours, a lot of them, and you know, they have ways to travel like we do. They have ships, they have crafts, they have, you know, different types of travel, just like we do. And there are whole, you know, civilizations, and all different types of civilizations. I resonate as being a Pleiadian starseed, which has seven stars in it, and on each of those stars there is a different type of life force energy, and a different way of life. And one of my previous lives, and a lifetime that was very connected to this life, was a lifetime where I spent a lot of my time with like a specific tribe. It was like almost like a Lakota tribe family, and that's where that was when I was told that I was a Pleiadian and that I'd had a son in this lifetime, and this son was still connected to me in this lifetime. And you know, I got to meet him, and it was a very traumatic experience, because it's just something that isn't in the ordinary. But yet as soon as I was told that I was part of this system, part of this tribe, it just made the most amount of sense to me, and I couldn't have felt any more connected to that lifetime and that essence of that child. It was like I knew in my soul that this child was mine, and you know, it changed my whole entire life. And that's going to sound extreme for some, that is going to sound just completely cuckoo and crazy, I understand it, but there is things that happen in our lifetime that change the course of our life. And I think every single person that finds themselves here, you've been through that. There has been something that has changed the course of your life, and you've thought back to it and thought, why did that happen? Or how was that possible? How did that happen? Some of you might have had near-death experiences. Some of you might have seen something in your dreams out of the corners of your eye. It's like, stop ignoring those signs, because they are trying to bring you back to your soul. It's like we are all on this path of coming closer and closer to oneness, to unity, to soul. And there is those of us that are on a slightly faster timeline right now, and you know, the galactics are pushing for everyone to be in that highest timeline, in that highest level and capacity and performance for self. It's like some of you are very performance driven, and if you have to think of it that way, it's like it's okay to feel disconnected spiritually right now, but just wanting to be your best self, if that's where you start. And that is definitely where I started. I stopped drinking, I stopped my unhealthy habits, and that's when I started to really just sit and meditate. I started to just meditate, and then I started to go to different spaces. I could felt like my body wasn't there anymore, and I felt like something else was coming forward. And then I started to feel myself leave my body whilst meditating, and I thought, oh, okay, this is what everyone's talking about when they say meditation feels great. And I was not there. I couldn't even but I couldn't even partake in a yoga class for many years before that, because I just couldn't be still. I didn't enjoy it. I like fast-paced everything. I like to work out fast. I like to work fast. I like to do everything fast, and I wasn't this person, this soul that I am today. And it's been a very rapid growth and change for me, but that can also happen for you too. I think some of you feel like it's going to take you a long time to be where you want to be, and it's like, no. I think about, like, miracles can happen, you know, everything can happen in an instant. And we've got love. Live your truth and share your love that is in your soul. Yeah, that's it. Some of you aren't living in the truth of the love that is in your soul. It's like you are ignoring what your soul is calling to you right now. And I'm hearing that's out of fear, a lot of it. Signs. The universe is being gently nudging you forward by revealing to you signs and synchronicities. It's like the synchronicities have been off the chart, and you keep seeing things that feel very connected to you, and you're like, what does that mean? But actually, your spirit teams are trying to celebrate you, celebrate your achievements. You truly are a gift to the universe. Yeah, that's what I mean. Some of you aren't appreciating your gifts, and you know, we can all be very gifted in so many different ways. Some of you could be the best mothers out there in the world, and some of you might just be really great friends. Some of you might just be amazing at something. It's like some craft, some hobby, something you're just phenomenal at, and that is your soul's gifts. I see this as the eye here, the eye of Horus. It's like that's the energy that you're supposed to be bringing to earth. Connect to your pulse of Mother Earth. She will be your guide through your times of change. It's like trust the universe is guiding you to something great. And I think some of you are walking this mountain path right now. Some of you might be hiking a lot, and that is what is happening. Your spirit guides are trying to get you into nature so that you can connect in a lot more deeply to them. Freedom. Follow your heart and nurture your soul with love and the freedom to grow. Yeah, there's so much here about just freeing yourself and allowing yourself to feel at peace. I always see water as so peaceful, so still, and yeah, like home. Free spirit. Be the free spirit to float without walls, to fly without judgment, and to love without conditions. Yeah, I'm going to read that again. Free spirit. Be the free spirit to float without walls, to fly without judgment, and to love without conditions. And that is exactly what I feel like taking a spiritual path, listening to my soul has given me. I feel free. I felt so trapped and constrained. I felt such constraints from my life and how I was trying to live, and it just wasn't in alignment for me anymore. I felt myself change. I felt myself become anew, and I was just ready to not be living in the matrix anymore. Intuition. Trust your intuition has been guiding you to the answers you seek. Yeah, it's like I knew that so many things just weren't for me anymore, and that I had to just walk away from my life. It was like everything that I created, I just didn't want it anymore. And I had to have gratitude for where I found myself. And, you know, it was a big risk to step away from a lot of things. It was very painful to step away from a lot of things, a lot of people that I loved and cared about, a lot of situations that I did have gratitude for already. You know, I was very blessed in the situation that I was in, and I was working in a job that I really did enjoy to some degree, but I just knew it wasn't in alignment for where I was needing to go, and yeah, I just had to go. So I upped and left, and you know, it's been a long journey from then. Universal love shines through the miracles of life all around you, but I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for my changes, and you know, this is the happiest that I have ever been in my life, and I have more love and appreciation for everything, and I do see every day as a gift, which is something that I didn't have. You know, I felt dread waking up in the morning, most mornings, a lot of time somewhere, and it was because I wasn't connecting into myself and my soul. Vibration. Your vibration is being raised to higher levels. You are connected to in cosmic intelligence. Yeah, that's what I mean. Everyone that is here, you are connecting into something more than self, something more than you've been willing to connect in until now. That is why you've continued to stick through this reading and stick it out. And sorry everyone, my energy is very high at the moment. I'm receiving a lot of energetic upgrades, and the sun always brings out that solar flash energy, so apologies if this has been a little bit scattered, but I think that's enough from today. I'm aware that I've just been rambling at you, at least it feels like, but know that everything that I've said has been totally guided by not just my team, but all of your teams too. The Galactics have come through very strongly in this. Ancient Egypt is a strong connection for a lot of you, and the Mario and Atlantis coming through with all that water energy. So if you did like this reading, I do have readings on Lemuria and Atlantis energies too, if you feel that calling to take that time to delve a little bit deeper. But I hope I've given you an overview of some things and some parts of my journey that have really helped me expand some things that I found difficult, and some things that I think a lot of people have had questions about. So do reach out to me if you do have any questions about anything. I'm always open to talk. If you did want an extended personal reading, you can find out how to get in touch with me in the description below. I am taking Zoom readings as well now, so that's something new if you wanted that more of a personal experience in that way. But I'm going to leave it there for now, everyone. Yeah, so much love from me, and please do take care.